Everybody doing well? Very good. Okay, just trying to like liven things up a little bit. Wait, where's everybody leaving? This is a good presentation. So, I want to talk a little bit about freemium today. I'm Aaron Levy, the CEO and co-founder. Oh, wait, really? What's going on here? Okay. So I'm Aaron Levy, the CEO and co-founder of Box.net. I want to talk a little bit about freemium. I'm apparently at the right conference. I just want to warn you in the beginning that some of this will probably serve as more of a reminder. I think you guys have been paying attention pretty well to the past probably 10 hours of freemium conversation. So this might sound a little familiar. So I apologize if it does. Cool. Give me 1 second. So. Great. So what does Box.net do? So Box.net provides a cloud-based service that lets businesses manage their content online. And so we enable businesses to give us and collaborate on data on the web, and we help them share information across their organization and to other organizations. But we weren't always freemium. So initially when we started out the business, we started out in a college dorm room in 2005, and we knew that we had this really good idea for a product that would let businesses and people share information, but we didn't really know how to keep the service running and deliver the product. So my co-founder had this really cool idea. He decided that we should just charge our users. And this was kind of novel at the time, we felt, but we put together the business, and it was a pay-only service, so we decided to deliver the product to our customers, and they would pay us money. And these were the most profitable days that we've ever had, actually, when we were a pay-only service. But we weren't growing very fast, so we decided we needed to really look at the model and think about other ways that we could achieve faster market growth and faster penetration. So the idea was how would we be able to deliver our service to more people, expose the product, expose the technology to as many people as possible, and get some percentage of them to pay. So that was the idea. And one of our early investors said, we'd be crazy to do this, right? So look at Pets.com. We're coming off of the bubble. Businesses, ran out of money trying to subsidize their customers, and so how are we going to do it any differently? And kind of looking at all the different costs of running your business. You have things like storage and bandwidth and support and operations and all these different things. How would you be able to pay for all of these customers to use and access your product if you're going to be giving it away for free? And so we thought about that, and this presentation goes into a little bit about some of the lessons that we've learned from that experience and kind of where we're going in the future. So he was right and he was wrong, but he was already a billionaire, so it probably didn't matter that much. But we think we did pretty well with the model, and again, I'll go into some of these lessons. Because mostly the times have changed, right? So it's now much easier to build technology products that you can deliver to customers. You have things like Amazon S3, which is making the cost of storage go down dramatically, so you can put together services much more easily. So that's bringing down the cost of running your actual operations, which is important to freemium. You have Google, which is sort of creating a precedent where people are not even expecting to pay that much for technology. So we now have a completely new pricing structure because Google can subsidize a lot of our consumer products with the advertising and these other kinds of business models. So now consumers are conditioned to think that they pay less for web software, and that's important. We also have outsourcing, so we have easier ways to build this technology. So our actual operations of running the business have changed. You also have Y Combinator, right? They're feeding people with top ramen and paying them nothing to build really cool technologies, and so you have to be able to compete with them on a price basis for what that competition is going to look like. So all these different things are really leading us to a day where software is much cheaper, and you have to be able to compete on that kind of level, and we think that's what's really important about freemium. And a free trial is not enough. So there's a lot of conversation that what is freemium really? Is it a free trial? Is it a 30-day trial of your product? Is it just a test download? I think that freemium is really about giving away your product for free and then charging for additional functionality on top of that. But there are conditions, as we've discussed and as we've heard today, where freemium doesn't make sense in your business, right? If you have a really small target customer base, then it's not really going to make a lot of sense because you won't be able to get enough scale. Or if you're selling to the government, for instance, right? They have a lot of taxpayer dollars that they can pay for your technology. So there's plenty of ways to deliver your product to those types of segments and make plenty of money. So freemium is not for everyone, and so make sure you do the math, and we saw this in the earlier presentation, and that's really important because if you go into this without a large enough type of market, a horizontal enough market, then you're not going to make a lot of money doing that. So these are the caveats. So the first thesis of why we went into freemium was that fundamentally happy customers will pay us. So if we can deliver our product to a lot of users and we can get them happy about our service, now not all of these customers will pay us, but if we can create a good experience for enough users, then we can build better technology and new services on top of that people will want to pay for. So this was the first thesis that we had, and we deeply believed in product excellence. And the second thesis was that technology decisions are now being made by users, not management. And this is really critical, again, if you're going to do an end-user delivered service to the enterprise. Don't put up a wall in front of that user. These users are not the ones that are ultimately making the purchasing decisions in their organization. It's someone in IT or management or operations. And so if you build a wall for that user to actually be successful on your technology, you're not going to get a lot of success or a lot of scale. So that was the second thesis that we decided was if we were going to try and really take on the enterprise market and compete against SharePoint and other larger enterprise products, we would have to give our product to the end users, make them happier about our service than the alternatives, and then we would be able to sell into the enterprise. And so that was the second thesis that we think was really important. So here's why I think you'd be crazy to not give out your software for free. And of course, this is given that you've followed the other conditions that we've just mentioned. But first, lower friction means faster traction, right? So if you can bring down the wall to deliver or acquire your customer, or for your customer to acquire you, then you can hook them really, really early and really easily. So the great thing with a service like Box.net or Xobni or some of these other technologies is that when you're using the service, you're actually contributing a lot of data to the service, which means that you are now have a better relationship with that product, and it's much stickier. So if you think about from a capitalistic standpoint, why wouldn't Box make that as easy as possible to do in the first part of the process? And one of those barriers is a credit card, and one of those barriers is thinking about what is the value I'm going to get. I'd rather prove to you the value that I'm going to be able to deliver to you as a customer rather than you having to get convinced by some sort of marketing language. So hook them super early and get their data, and then they'll be much more convinced to continue using it. You also get higher marketing leverage, right? So your users become your marketers. You get instantly, you have millions of evangelists of your product, and that's super powerful. So you no longer have to spend lots of money on fancy advertising or billboards. You can actually put your product together and have them share the service yourself. We do have a billboard, by the way, if you don't get that joke, but that's fine. So the idea is, again, make your users your marketers and make sure that they're able to deliver your product for you, and you'll get an extremely high amount of leverage. So the majority of all of our enterprise customers that come into Box start out as end users of the service. So it's really working, and it means that people can spread your product for you. It also forces you to make a much, much better product. So if you think about things from a product philosophy, this is a really important aspect of the freemium model. You can no longer go and sell into an organization with really fancy marketing or really fancy sales, because you're giving them, you're much more transparent, you're giving them the product right up front, and you're saying, this is what we do. If you like us, then you can pay for more of it. But no one's going to pay you for more of a product that they don't like. So you're really saying that we trust our product and we trust that our users are going to want to pay for it. So it forces you to make a better product. You can no longer sell, like the old days of Oracle and go into an organization and have, a vapor product for the first year or whatever. It has to be able to deliver value right away. And sales will love you for it. So your sales organization will absolutely love the fact that they have users calling you. So instead of taking 100 prospects and calling and then converting 2 or 3 of them at a wildly inefficient rate, you now have customers calling you. So this is much more effective now to build this inside sales organization that is only talking to qualified users of your product. And that's really, really powerful. And it means that you can grow really efficiently and you can understand the metrics around your business a lot faster. And it means that people are super excited to actually talk to sales, which is really important. And it also means you can reach traditionally impenetrable markets, right? A lot of times we think about small businesses as being hard to reach because they're sort of disconnected, they're disparately organized geographically, they don't have traditional conventions and ways that they acquire technology, so they're really hard to have access to. But the great thing with freemium is that they actually come to us and the product actually spreads within their own ecosystem. So we're able to reach them much faster. The same thing for enterprise software, right? We wouldn't be able to build out the right kind of sales organization to reach enterprises at the scale we're at, but instead what happens is you have the users spreading the product for you, which enables us to get into new markets and new industries that we would have never had time to have. So again, it's all about listening to your customers and making sure you're paying attention to when you've actually appeared in a new industry, which is really important as you develop the product and what you want to be doing.